I'm laughing because I talked to a friend last night, and this coffee cup mug being up here like this just really with some people's brains. I mean, it annoys the hell out of them. See the elbow right down there? You know, I went back through some videos. I had plain coffee cup mugs. I want to be clear about this. Before I even had this Sunoco coffee cup mug, if you go back through some old Coffee with Kenny's, I was doing the same thing with plain coffee cup mugs with no logo on them. But it was all of you that gave me the idea. You said, Herman, if you guys remember this, you said, Herman, you need to get a logo on that mug. So I did. And once again, I know I'm repeating myself, but it was this, I got two torn tendons right here. So the arm in is what helps me. And when I sit on the couch, I got two pillows right there. Because when I do this, or, you know, it was just Coffee with Kenny. I was holding the coffee cup. But I just got to say, my buddy last night, he goes, I'm holding my coffee mug up in the air right now. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. This has become a phenomenon, this coffee cup mug, because it aggravates people. It is annoying to have the coffee cup mug up. But it still only aggravates what? How many people does it aggravate? Respond right here. Let's take a poll. Actually, I'll put it on X. Does the coffee cup mug being held up aggravate you? Respond right here. Okay. Yesterday on X, somebody said, Kenny Wallace, you've been around so long, why don't you start telling us some stories? And I said, the people want to hear about NASCAR controversy is what in other words, we got information to a lot of things. We can tell what you like and what you don't like. And it's sad to say, but what you guys really like is bad. You love NASCAR controversy. Hell, I gave my opinion on why NASCAR was really in trouble. It's become my top Coffee with Kenny. About 2 weeks ago, I said NASCAR is really in trouble now. 250,000 views. Yes. Then I do something that I think's really good and it gets like 2,000 views. Remember, everybody, this is a business. The Kenny Wallace YouTube show, this is a business. By the way, look how good my hairs look today. Really nice. It's because I took a shower yesterday. Okay, so we're going to try this once, okay, for all of you. Kenny, tell us some NASCAR stories. Okay, well, it's Bristol week, right? So since it's Bristol week, I'll tell you a Bristol story. I see a video out there floating around with myself in a white TIC fire suit, and I'm getting in the Texaco Havoline car of Ernie Irvan's, and I'm talking to Larry McReynolds, or as some people say, Larry McReynolds. So let's talk about that weekend, okay? What was I doing in that car? Well, if you remember, Ernie got hurt. Ernie went into turn one at Michigan during practice. I guess blew a right front tire, hit the wall hard. It was a really, really bad situation. So Robert Yates, you know, by that time, my stats were really good at Bristol, especially in the Xfinity Series. So, and listen, I come off of a tough year. Remember, that was 93 is when I drove the Dirt Devil car. And that basically was the start of destroying my career, was when Felix fired me. You know, it's kind of a deal like how do I overcome this? Well, I went to Nashville and I got up with Philmar Racing, and I jumped in that car. Crew Chief Gil Martin and all the boys. They made me a winner. I went to Victory Lane a lot in that Red Dog car, and it also was TIC, stood for Transportation Industry Consultant. So Robert Yates knew I could get around Bristol as good as a lot of them. We all know that Brother Rusty, Darrell Waltrip, Earnhardt, the Bush brothers now, they're really good around there. So that's the reason they asked me. I just told you why they asked me to drive the car, because I could get around that racetrack. So lo and behold, I get in the Texaco Havoline car, and this is the story. I feel the pressure, but I love pressure, and I like focus. If you watch that video, you can tell that I'm an intense son of a bitch, man. When I was watching myself on X on that video, I'm like, man, look how intense my face is. So I got into turn one during practice, and I had not run a cup car that much, and I lost it. I got up in the marbles and lost it, and just touched the wall with the ass end, and I was embarrassed. Brought that car in there, and boy, I'm going to tell you what, that team back then, Larry McReynolds, Robert Yates, Doug Yates, that team they put together. Name some of the crew members right here. Joey Knuckles. I think Joey passed away. So sorry to hear about that. Had a lot of great crew members back then on that team. But when I got in the wall, man, they were all hands on deck. They didn't care I wrecked that son of a bitch. That they were a gnarly team. Back then the teams were gnarly. That's like the Flying Aces for Earnhardt. Chocolate Myers, all those guys, those were gnarly guys. What that means is when you wrecked, they didn't pout. They weren't sad. They went right to work. That's the way it was back in the old days. Just fix stuff. Get it fixed. They fixed that car. They didn't blame me on nothing. And I think I finished 9th or 10th. That was a start. That wasn't exactly what we wanted, but hey, I'm going to tell you what, when I went to qualify that car at Bristol, never forget it as long as I live. Fired that motor up on pit road, went up on the banking, and once you get up on the banking, it goes into your head, get it the on, attack this track, attack it. Because although you got to enter the corner right there, you got to get it on, and you got to threaten that car. Come on, you son of a bitch. And if it'll stay with you, you can say, quick time. But when I pulled up on that track, I could hear the fans. I could hear the people cheering over my race car motor. That's how crazy it was. So I went after it, qualified okay, run 9th or 10th. And I'll never forget the people cheering over the loudness of the race car. It was like it is truly, Bristol is truly a coliseum. Now, the night before, I won. The night before, I won in that car. If you remember, Mark Martin relief drove for Ernie Irvan in the yellow and white Mac Tools car. Damn, I was fast. They were not catching my ass. So the night before, I won the Xfinity race. Well, that was Busch Series. Remember, everybody, I'm here to remind you. Busch Series, Nationwide, Xfinity, and now we're going to O'Reilly. So that was a good week. And one of my next stories, the next Coffee with Kenny, might be another story. Who knows? Do you like the stories? It's 9 minutes. Did you make it this far? Do you like the stories? Respond right here. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great Friday. Tonight, I race down here at Peevely. It's the Pepsi Nationals. And then tomorrow morning, Saturday, I cannot run Peevely. I'll see you out at Bristol. 4 p.m. Trackside Live.